The power within you is far greater than anything you have ever imagined. Long before a desire becomes visible, long before a dream takes form, there is an unseen realm shaping every moment of your life. This realm is not distant, not outside, not hidden in the stars or tucked away in fate. It is within you, quiet, obedient, and endlessly creative. It is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not argue. It does not analyze. It accepts. Whatever you impress upon it with feeling, it expresses with certainty. It is the fertile soil in which every seed of thought grows into the world of form. And all day long, whether knowingly or not, you are planting seeds. Every assumption, every inner conversation, every persistent feeling is creating the life you will soon walk into. If you look around and see circumstances you don't like, understand that they are not your enemy. They are your reflection. They are yesterday's thoughts materialized. But the beauty of this truth is that the future is malleable. Change the inner story and you change the outer world. Nothing and no one can prevent the subconscious from bringing forth what you consistently accept as true. There is no limit to what this inner power can do. It can lift you out of fear. It can renew your body. It can bring opportunities that seem impossible. But it responds only to the tone of your inner being, not your words alone. Speak of abundance, yet feel lack, and lack will answer. Speak of love, yet feel unworthy, and unworthiness will manifest. But speak and feel as though the wish is already fulfilled, and the subconscious will open every door to make it so. To work with this power, you must enter the state where the conscious mind grows quiet, where the noise of doubt fades and imagination becomes real. It may happen as you fall asleep, or in a moment of stillness throughout the day. In that gentle state, picture the life you desire as though it is already yours. Feel the relief, the joy, the completion. Let that feeling settle deep within you, for the subconscious moves only by feeling. Once the impression is made, release it. Do not doubt it. Do not check for signs. Do not ask how. The moment you assume the feeling of the fulfilled desire, creation has begun. From that instant, your outer world moves in harmony with your inner reality. People, events, and circumstances rearrange themselves with precision to match your inner state. What you believe about yourself is the law of your life. If you believe you are chosen, life will treat you as chosen. If you believe you are blessed, blessings will seek you out. If you believe you are powerless, life will reflect that back to you as well. Nothing is withheld from the one who dares to accept a new identity in the depths of their subconscious. So choose your inner conversations wisely. Speak inwardly as the version of you who already has what you desire. Let imagination become your closest companion, for it is the language of your subconscious. And when you feel the reality of your desire within, the outer world cannot help but bow to it. The greatest mistake people make is believing that life happens to them. They watch circumstances unfold and assume these events are random or dictated by forces outside their control. But nothing could be further from the truth. Life happens through you, and the doorway through which it flows is your subconscious mind. Everything that enters your world is shaped, filtered, and constructed by what you have accepted as true on the deepest level. You may speak positive words and still see no change. You may work tirelessly and feel stuck in the same place. And you may pray with sincerity yet see no immediate movement. But the issue is never effort, nor time, nor the world. The issue is always the dominant feeling that lives within you. For your subconscious is not moved by logic, only by the emotional intensity of what you accept as your inner reality. Every image you hold with feeling is a command. Every assumption you cling to becomes a blueprint. Every quiet thought you repeat in the stillness of your mind becomes the stage upon which your future will play out. You cannot escape it, nor can you avoid it, for you are always imagining. The question is not whether you are using the power. The question is whether you are using it consciously. The subconscious mind is infinitely more powerful than your conscious reasoning. It knows how to orchestrate outcomes you could never plan. It knows how to open doors you don't even see. When you impress an idea upon it with faith and feeling, it sets forces into motion beyond your awareness. You may think it impossible, unrealistic, or too late. But the subconscious does not care about the opinions of the surface mind. It only fulfills the impressions given to it. This is why imagination is your sacred tool. When you imagine something vividly and feel it deeply, you step into a new state of being. And the moment you do, your subconscious begins to conform your world to that state. It does not matter how long you have lived under old beliefs. It does not matter what people have said, what failures you've had, or what conditions surround you. A new assumption, firmly accepted, can uproot a lifetime of limitation. Think of the times you have worried, feared, or replayed negative scenarios in your mind. You weren't merely thinking, you were imagining, and the subconscious received those imaginal acts as orders. It began shaping your outer world according to the inner distress you repeatedly rehearsed. This is why worry is such a destructive force. It is imagination working against you. It is faith placed in the wrong direction. But if fear can create undesirable outcomes, imagine what faith, confidence, and joyful expectation can do. Imagine what happens when you dare to hold a scene of victory within yourself until it feels more real than the world outside. When you saturate your mind with the emotion of the end result, the subconscious must externalize it. You have experienced this before without even realizing it. Think of moments when you felt something so strongly, good or bad, that it seemed inevitable. Soon enough, events aligned perfectly with that expectation. You may have called it coincidence, luck, or intuition, but it was your subconscious delivering precisely what you impressed upon it. This inner power responds perfectly to every feeling you accept as true. If you believe life loves you, life will confirm it again and again. If you believe good things come easily to you, your days will begin to unfold with effortless blessings. If you believe you are destined for greatness, your subconscious will carve paths for you that no human hand could block. But if you believe you are unworthy, unseen, or unable, the subconscious will obey that too. The world will mirror whatever identity you choose to wear within yourself. The key is to understand that identity is not shaped by the world is shaped by identity. Change the concept you hold of yourself and you change everything. Your subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. This is the secret so many overlook. When you imagine something with feeling, you create the same inner state as if the event were physically happening. And because the subconscious responds to inner states, it will manifest the corresponding circumstances in your outer world. This is why the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the master key. Not hoping, not wishing, not desiring from a place of lack, but assuming the state of fulfillment so completely that you no longer seek confirmation outside. You rest in the knowing that it is done. When you adopt this state, everything changes. You no longer beg life for blessings, you express them from within. You no longer chase opportunities, you attract them with ease. You no longer fear the future, you create it deliberately. Think of your subconscious as a silent servant. It listens without judgment. It acts without delay. It does not question your commands. If you say, I am successful, but feel uncertain and small, the subconscious receives not your words, but your feeling of smallness. If you declare, I am loved, yet inwardly rehearse abandonment and rejection, the subconscious accepts the inner rehearsal as truth. To master this power, you must first become aware of the inner conversations you entertain. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to another person. They criticize themselves, doubt themselves, belittle their own potential, and then wonder why life reflects the same tone back to them. Your inner speech is the script your life follows. Change the inner dialogue, and the outer scenes of your life must change accordingly. If every day you remind yourself of who you truly desire to be, if you speak inwardly like the one who is already victorious, your subconscious will take those whispers and carve them into reality. The world cannot resist an identity that is fully claimed. Everything bends to the one who knows who they are within. Imagine two people in the same room facing the same circumstances. One feels powerless, the other feels capable. One assumes defeat, the other assumes victory. One dwells in fear, the other dwells in expectation of good. Though the outer situation is identical, their experiences will be worlds apart. Why? Because each is living from a different inner state, and the subconscious must honor the state they occupy. There is a place within you where everything you desire already exists, not as a possibility, as a reality. Every version of you lives within consciousness, and you shift between these versions by what you accept as true. If you want to experience a new version of your life, you must accept a new version of yourself. When you imagine yourself as healthy, wealthy, confident, or loved, you are not pretending, you are selecting a new state. And the moment you select it with conviction, life reorganizes itself to match the choice you made. The subconscious mind is timeless. It does not understand later or someday. It only knows now. So whenever you say, I will be, you are telling the subconscious, this is not who I am now, and it will keep you in the state of not yet. But when you say, I am, and feel it deeply, the subconscious immediately begins to mold your world to fit that identity. This is why desire is never enough. Desire points to what you want. Assumption creates what you want. Feeling it real is the bridge. Your imagination should become your sanctuary. a place you enter with reverence, knowing that what you do within will soon echo without. If you could see how quickly the subconscious brings life to the images you hold, you would guard your imagination like a treasure chest. Every night, as you drift toward sleep, you stand at the gateway where your subconscious is most receptive. Use that doorway deliberately. Enter that drowsy state and gently feel the scene of your fulfilled desire. Not as though it is coming, but as though it is here now. Feel the emotion of completion. Feel the gratitude. Feel the ease. Let it sink into the depths of your being. As you fall asleep in that feeling, your subconscious takes over. It begins weaving that imaginal act into your reality. And in the days that follow, you will feel subtle shifts within yourself, moments of confidence, flashes of opportunity, people showing up unexpectedly, circumstances aligning with precision. This is not chance. It is the subconscious delivering what you impressed upon it. The world responds to your inner state with mathematical accuracy. If you want something different, you must feel something different. If you want a new life, you must adopt a new self-concept. If you want to break cycles, you must break inner patterns. The subconscious mind is your silent ally, your hidden partner in creation. Treat it with respect. Feed it with the images of your ideal life. Speak to it as though what you desire is already yours. Walk through your days with the quiet confidence of someone who has already received the blessing. When you do, life will rise to meet your assumption. And this power is not reserved for a select few. You are not excluded from it. You are not forgotten or overlooked. You possess the same creative force as anyone who has ever transformed their life. The moment you claim a new reality within, the universe must respond to it. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because consciousness is the foundation of all creation. The subconscious mind is your doorway to miracles, and it is always open. When you realize the power that rests quietly beneath the surface of your awareness, you understand that nothing in your world is fixed. Nothing is final. Nothing is beyond transformation. The subconscious does not care how long something has been the way it is. It does not consider history, mistakes, or past identity. It cares only about the state you occupy now, the feeling you accept now, the assumption you hold now. The moment you shift your inner state, you shift the direction of your entire life. People often say, "But I've been this way for years," or "My situation has been this way for so long." Yet they do not realize that the duration of the old state only proves how faithfully the subconscious has honored the feeling they have consistently accepted. It is not a sign of limitation. It is a sign of perfect obedience. The moment a new assumption becomes dominant, the subconscious begins dissolving the old patterns like mist before the sun. You may not see immediate evidence, but that is only because the physical world moves more slowly than the inner world. The seed is already planted. The roots are already forming. The invisible shift has already happened, and soon, inevitably, the outer world will reveal what has been established within. This is why persistence is so powerful. The subconscious moves in response to the consistent inner feeling, what you dwell in, not what you visit occasionally. If, for a moment, you feel confident, blessed, or worthy, but spend the rest of the day doubting and fearing, the subconscious obeys the dominant vibration, not the fleeting one. But if you hold the inner assumption with steady conviction, if you return again and again to the inner reality of your wish fulfilled, the subconscious has no choice but to express it. The world cannot resist the one who persists inwardly. Consider the story of someone who decides to transform their life. Perhaps they begin imagining abundance or love or health. At first, the outer world remains unchanged. Doubts whisper, circumstances test them, old patterns resurface. But if they persist, if they keep returning to the inner scene of fulfillment, if they keep feeling the truth of their desired state, something remarkable happens. Slowly, subtle signs appear. People treat them differently. Unexpected opportunities arise. Their own behavior shifts in ways they can't quite explain. And eventually, the outer world reflects precisely what they have assumed. This process is not magic, it is law. The subconscious mind is always expressing what you assume to be true about yourself. If you assume that you are unlucky, life will provide evidence to validate that belief. If you assume that love eludes you, you will encounter situations that mirror that assumption. If you assume that money is difficult, your subconscious will shape experiences that confirm it. Not because you are cursed, not because the world is against you, but because the subconscious cannot contradict the identity you hold within. The moment you choose a new identity, the moment you declare who you truly are, the entire world begins rearranging itself to make that identity visible. Think of a radio. It does not create the music. It simply tunes into a frequency that already exists. Your subconscious works the same way. Every version of your life already exists in the realm of possibilities. When you adjust your inner frequency through feeling, assumption, and imagination, you tune into the reality that matches that vibration. You are not creating your desires out of nothing. You are aligning with the version of you that already has them. This is why imagination must be used deliberately. If you imagine the worst, you align with it. If you imagine defeat, you align with it. But if you imagine success with conviction, if you feel the truth of your victory within, you align with that, and the world must reflect it. You cannot tune to one frequency and expect to hear another. You cannot dwell in fear and expect abundance. You cannot dwell in lack and expect fulfillment. Your inner world is the only place where change begins. Many people try to change their outer circumstances first. They chase after relationships, jobs, money, recognition, believing that once they obtain these things, they will finally feel complete. But they misunderstand the order of creation. The outer world is the effect, not the cause. The cause is always the inner state. When you try to change the outer world without addressing the inner assumptions, you are rearranging shadows on the wall while ignoring the light that casts them. Lasting change must begin in the invisible realm of consciousness. If you want love, you must assume you are already loved. If you want abundance, you must feel abundant within. If you want confidence, you must adopt the identity of someone who already walks with certainty and strength. The subconscious mind cannot create anything that contradicts who you believe yourself to be. This is why self-concept is everything. You are not manifesting things, you are manifesting states of being. When the state is assumed, the things appear naturally as its companions. A person who assumes the state of wealth will naturally attract financial opportunities. A person who assumes the state of being loved will naturally draw relationships that match that assumption. A person who assumes the state of success will naturally step into circumstances that align with that identity. The outer world always bends to the inner self. Your subconscious mind also responds powerfully to repetition. Every time you repeat an inner scene with feeling, you deepen the impression. Every time you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you strengthen the command. Just as water slowly shapes rock, your persistent inner focus sculpts the world around you. But to accomplish this, you must learn to ignore what contradicts your desire. You must learn to look at the world without letting it dictate your inner state. This is not denial, it is mastery. When a gardener plants a seed, they do not dig it up the next morning to see if it has grown. They trust the process, they water it, they protect it, they nurture the soil. They know that the unseen work is underway long before the sprout appears. You must treat your desires the same way. If your outer circumstances seem unchanged, do not panic, do not doubt, do not abandon the state you have assumed. Continue to feel the truth within you. Continue to dwell in the end. Continue to saturate your imagination with the reality you wish to experience. The subconscious must honor your persistence, for it cannot resist a sustained feeling. Your senses may tell you one story, but your inner knowing tells another, and the inner knowing is always the one that prevails. This is why quiet moments are so important. Moments where the world grows still and the noise of the mind softens. Moments where you slip into the gentle depths of imagination and allow yourself to experience the reality you desire. These moments are not daydreams. They are creative acts. They are the foundation of everything you will experience in your future. The subconscious mind is especially responsive when you are relaxed, when you are lying in bed at night, drifting into sleep, or resting in silence. In these states, the conscious mind loosens its grip and the gate to the subconscious opens. Use these moments with intention. Enter them with purpose. Let your final feeling before sleep be one of fulfillment, joy, relief, or gratitude. For the feeling you carry into sleep becomes the command your subconscious works on throughout the night. If you fall asleep rehearsing problems, you plant more problems. If you fall asleep imagining fear, you invite more fear. But if you fall asleep in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you give the subconscious a blueprint for miracles. Understand, too, that the subconscious never punishes and never rewards. It does not judge, it simply expresses. If you do not like what you are experiencing, you must change what you are accepting within. You must become the master of your inner world. You must take responsibility for the thoughts you entertain and the feelings you allow to take root. You are not powerless. You are powerful beyond measure. Your subconscious mind has shaped every moment of your life, and it will shape every moment to come. Whether you use this power intentionally or unconsciously is your choice. But once you understand that the inner state governs the outer experience, you can never again claim to be a victim of circumstance. You are the architect. You are the author. You are the one writing the script, and the script is written through feeling. Feel deeply. Feel deliberately. Feel as the one who already has the life you desire. When the inner state shifts, the outer world cannot resist. It must follow, it must comply, it must transform. For the subconscious mind is the silent force that creates worlds, and it is within you waiting for your command. There is a moment in every person's life when they realize that change does not come from force, struggle, or exterior effort. It comes from a quiet shift within, an invisible turning of the inner wheel. The subconscious mind listens not to desperation, but to conviction. It responds not to chaos, but to clarity. And the moment you become clear about who you are within, the moment you accept a new identity, your reality begins to reassemble itself with astonishing precision. Most people try to change their lives while remaining the same selves internally. They hold on to beliefs of limitation, fear, self-doubt, and unworthiness, all while hoping for a life of abundance and joy. But a life cannot outgrow the one who is living it. You cannot hold on to the identity of lack and expect prosperity to bloom. You cannot cling to doubt and expect confidence to grow. You cannot carry the feeling of being unwanted and expect love to find you. The subconscious mind cannot give you what contradicts the state you occupy. This is why the inner shift is everything. The moment you see yourself differently, the world around you must change accordingly. Many misunderstand the power of the subconscious because they expect transformation to be dramatic or immediate. But the subconscious works in quiet ways. It reshapes your habits, your responses, your assumptions. It nudges you into new conversations, new rooms, new ideas. It inspires sudden clarity, unexpected opportunities, and coincidences that feel too perfect to ignore. It reorganizes the people in your life. Some drift away, others appear from nowhere, because your inner state is selecting the experiences that match it. Nothing is random, not even the smallest detail. To use the subconscious mind effectively, you must cultivate one essential quality: inner consistency. You must choose the feeling of your desired state and live from it until it becomes natural, until it becomes familiar, until it becomes your home. At first, it may feel like pretending. It may feel like an act, a role, a dream. But the subconscious does not care whether something is physically real or imagined. It only cares about what feels real to you. And feelings change through repetition. If you persist in the internal assumption, if you return to the feeling day after day, something extraordinary begins to happen. The feeling that once felt foreign becomes comfortable. The identity that once felt distant becomes natural. And the moment it becomes natural, creation is complete. The subconscious expresses what is natural to you, not what is momentary. Think of someone learning to walk again after an injury. At first, every movement feels uncertain. The body doesn't remember the pattern. But with repetition, with persistence, the movement becomes fluid again. The subconscious learns the new pattern and expresses it automatically. This is exactly how states of consciousness work. At first, your desired identity may feel unfamiliar, but with repetition, the subconscious adopts it fully and expresses it effortlessly. You must also understand that the subconscious does not operate in future tense. It cannot manifest something you feel is far away, someday, or coming soon. It only manifests what you feel to be true now. This is why the feeling of already done is the most powerful state you can enter. When you imagine the end from the end, when you feel the relief, joy, or gratitude of your desire fulfilled, you are giving the subconscious the blueprint of completion. Completion is the language of creation. If you want wealth, do not imagine becoming wealthy. Imagine living as one who already is. If you want love, do not imagine finding it. Imagine the happiness of having it now. If you want success, do not imagine struggling toward it. Imagine walking confidently in the certainty of success. The subconscious accepts whatever you feel to be real and expresses it faithfully. This truth is simple, but the conscious mind complicates it endlessly. The surface mind wants proof, evidence, timelines, signs. It wants control. But the subconscious does not operate through control. It operates through surrender. It works through trust, expectancy, and alignment. The more you try to force outcomes, the more resistance you create. But when you surrender to the feeling of fulfillment, when you trust the inner state above the outer world, you open the pathway for manifestation to flow freely. Surrender is not giving up, it is claiming your power. It is choosing the inner truth over the outer illusion. Many fear that if they live from imagination, they are deceiving themselves. But the opposite is true. When you live from fear, limitation, and doubt, that is the deception. The imagination is closer to truth than the physical world because the physical world is only a reflection. Your imagination shows you possibilities, higher versions of yourself, paths you have not yet walked. To dwell in those possibilities is not denial, it is creation. Understand this, your imagination is not fantasy, it is prophecy. Your feelings are not reactions, they are instructions. Your assumptions are not opinions, they are creative laws. The subconscious mind is constantly listening. It hears your frustration, your joy, your fear, your confidence. It hears your inner conversations, the silent words you whisper to yourself. But most importantly, it hears the emotion behind the words. You may say outwardly, everything is fine, but if inwardly you are dwelling in worry, the subconscious obeys the worry. If you tell yourself, I am confident, but feel insecurity, the subconscious accepts the insecurity. This is why feeling is the secret ingredient. It is the emotional charge that transforms into creations. Without feeling, imagination is hollow. With feeling, imagination becomes destiny. When you begin to practice living from the end, you may find that your senses rebel. They insist on showing you the world as it has been, not as it is becoming. When this happens, do not argue with the senses. Do not fight them. Simply turn inward and return to the imaginal scene. Feel the truth of your desire again. Dwell in the new reality until the outer world begins to bend. Every manifestation begins with a quiet contradiction. You feel rich while seeing lack. You feel loved while standing alone. You feel healthy while symptoms persist. This paradox is the birthplace of transformation. The subconscious sees the inner reality and begins to override the outer one. Energy precedes matter. Feeling precedes form. You must be willing to feel the truth internally before you see it externally. The subconscious mind also excels in solving problems you cannot solve consciously. When you assume the feeling of the end, you release the burden of figuring out the how. And the moment you release the how, the subconscious begins arranging solutions with effortless intelligence. You may wake up with sudden clarity, meet someone unexpectedly, stumble upon an opportunity, or feel compelled to take an action you had not considered before. These movements are not coincidences. They are the subconscious guiding you toward the physical fulfillment of your inner assumption. The process is graceful, natural, and often surprising. You do not need to struggle. You do not need to manipulate. You simply need to align with the feeling of fulfillment and let the subconscious handle the details. Your only responsibility is the inner state. The subconscious will handle the rest with a precision that no amount of conscious effort could match. But to maintain this alignment, you must become the guardian of your inner world. You must monitor the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you nurture, the inner conversations that run unchecked. Anytime you notice yourself slipping back into doubt or fear, gently bring your awareness back to the end state. Do not punish yourself, do not criticize yourself, simply return to the feeling. With time, the return becomes easier, the shift becomes natural, and the new state becomes your home. Think of the subconscious as a mirror. It reflects whatever stands before it. If you stand in fear, it reflects fear. If you stand in confidence, it reflects confidence. If you stand in abundance, it reflects abundance. The mirror does not choose what to reflect, you do. When you grasp the full depth of this truth, you realize that you have never been powerless. You have never been stuck. You have never been limited in any permanent way. You were simply unaware of the creative power working within you. You now know that the subconscious mind responds to the feeling, not words, assumption, not effort, imagination, not logic, persistence, not intensity. You know that the outer world is shaped by the inner world. You know that your identity determines your destiny. And most importantly, you know that you can choose a new identity at any time. You can choose to feel worthy, even if the world has told you otherwise. You can choose to feel abundant, even if your circumstances seem small. You can choose to feel loved, even if you stand alone. You can choose to feel powerful, even if fear whispers at your door. The subconscious mind will always obey the state you choose. Use this power deliberately. Use it wisely. Use it with faith, confidence, and devotion. Because the moment you claim a new inner reality, the moment you live from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the entire universe quietly rearranges itself to bring that inner picture to life. And so you stand at a threshold where nothing outside of you has the final say. The world does not determine who you are, your inner state does. The subconscious mind has been shaping your life all along, responding faithfully to every feeling you have accepted as true. Now, you hold the power to choose deliberately, to create consciously, to command your reality from within. The moment you dare to feel the end is already accomplished, the moment you choose the identity of the one who has already received, the moment you allow that feeling to settle into the depths of your being, creation begins. The world will bend. Circumstances will shift. People will move. Opportunities will appear, not because of luck, not because of chance, but because the subconscious must express what you have claimed within. Do not wait for proof. Be the proof. Do not wait for signs. Be the sign. Do not wait for the world to change. Change your inner world and the outer will follow without resistance. You are not a spectator in your life, you are the source. You are not hoping for power, you are the power. You are not searching for light, you are the light that shapes everything you touch. Take ownership of your inner state. Assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Persist in that inner conviction until it becomes your natural identity. For when the inner world aligns, the outer world must obey. This is your moment to rise, to claim, to create. Your subconscious mind is waiting for your command. Give it the truth you want to live, and it will bring it to life with unstoppable force.